Hey guys, come with me and do day 2 of my quiet time. So I read in 1 Kings chapter 5, and there were 3 verses that stuck out to me. The first one was verse 3, which says, "You know my father David was not able to build the temple for the name the Lord is God. This was because of the warfare all around him until the Lord put his enemies under his feet." What stuck out to me was that God made Israel victorious over the nations that were around them, and that only with God that they were able to basically gain that victory and have peace times at that time. The second verse that stuck out to me was verse 5, which says, "So I plan to build a temple for the name of the Lord my God, according to what the Lord promised my father David. I will put your son on your throne in your place, and he will build the temple for my name." So what stuck out to me was that God had promised to David that he would put Solomon on the throne, and he basically kept that promise to David. And Solomon was put on the throne, and Solomon basically fulfilled that promise as well by building the temple. The third and final verse that stuck out to me was verse 8, which says, "Then Hiram sent a reply to Solomon saying, I have heard your message, and I will do everything you want regarding the cedar and cypress timber." So in the context of this verse, they were talking about building the temple, and this was a king of a different nation. He basically was helping the nation of Israel without knowing by building the temple and fulfilling the promise that God had given to David, which I thought was really cool. So in summary, verses 3, 5, and 8 were the verses that stuck out to me. Verse 3 I said, with God their enemies were defeated. With verse 5 I said Solomon was faithful and God fulfilled his promise. With verse 8 I said God was at work with making everything possible. So that's what I learned in my quiet time. Then I have my 100 Days of Believing Bigger devotional journal, and I'll tell you what I learned. Okay, so with the devotional journal, the key verse, or the title of it was Seen Unseen, and the key verse was Hebrews 11:7, which says, "By faith Noah, after he was warned about what was not yet seen, and motivated by godly fear, built an ark to deliver his family. By faith he condemned the world and became an heir of the righteousness that comes by faith." So, in summary, what I learned was that Noah's willing to do what God said, even though it seemed silly to him. I mean, I'm sure it seemed silly. And a lot of people mocked him for that. And the other thing I learned was that they didn't have the faith he did, the people that were around him, and then he was patient through it all.